Hi, I'm Alice and you're watching Alice Cooks Indian. Today I'm going to be making Hara Bhara Kebab, or in other words, green veg kebab. This is a really tasty kebab which is great as a starter or to be served as a party snack. And as an added bonus for all you vegans out there, it's also vegan friendly. So, without further delay, let's dive straight into the recipe. So there's two parts to this recipe. First is making your kebab patties, and second is frying them. So the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe are 1 pack of baby spinach. This was 125 grams. Then I've got 1 chopped onion, 1.5 cups of frozen peas, 1 green pepper. Then I've got a teaspoon each of ginger, garlic and chili. Then I've got some fresh chopped coriander, about 8 to 10 mint leaves, and then here I've got 3 big pre-boiled potatoes. Now I recommend that you grate your potatoes rather than just mashing them, and this is to make sure that they're really smooth and we don't want any lumps in them. Now some other ingredients that you'll need are your breadcrumbs, which we'll be rolling our kebab patties in at the end, and also some corn flour. So we're going to begin by blanching our spinach. We're going to be cooking our spinach for a few minutes until it wilts down, and then putting it straight into our bowl of ice cold water. What this does is it stops the spinach from cooking any further, and also it stops it from getting very dark green in colour. So we've blanched our spinach and I've squeezed it to get as much moisture out of it as possible. And now, as you can see, it's reduced down in size quite a bit. Now we're ready to move on to the next stage of our recipe. So I've got some oil heated up in a pan, and I'm going to start by adding 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Just going to let this splutter, and then I'm going to add my garlic, ginger and chilies. Lovely. Again, just let this splutter for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to be adding my onions. So we're not browning the onions. We're just going to let them sweat for about a couple of minutes, and then we're going to add the green pepper. So our onions have been going for about 2 minutes. And now I'm going to add the green pepper. Lovely, stir that in. Again, going to saute this for about 2 or 3 minutes. The key at this stage is to make sure we get rid of as much moisture as possible from the veg. And that will ensure that we can make our patties well. So our peppers have been going for about 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add our peas and also the spinach. And just mix well. So I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric, and then I'm just going to cook this until the moisture evaporates. This is the core of our green base, and the turmeric is just making sure that we're going to have a beautiful bright colour. So my green base has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to chuck in my mint and coriander leaves. Lovely. I'm going to turn off my heat. Give this a good stir, and then I'm going to let it cool down before we blend it. So my mixture's cooled down and I've transferred it to my blender. So now I'm just going to blend to a fine paste. Make sure you don't add any water when you're blending because we don't want to add any extra moisture into our mixture. So we've got all of our components ready to start making our kebab patties. I'm going to start by taking our blended mixture out into a bowl. So I started off with 3 boiled potatoes, but you need to be flexible. Now that I've seen how much mixture I've got, that looked a little bit too much. So I've taken out some potato. I do recommend that you use about half the amount of potato to green veg. After all, this is a green veg kebab, not a potato kebab. So in goes the potato. This is going to add the body to our kebab mix. And then I'm also going to add the spices. Salt to taste. I'm going to add 1 flat teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 flat teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 flat teaspoon of garam masala, and 1 flat teaspoon of amchur. And then just make sure you combine it well. So again, be flexible. Just use as much corn flour as your mixture needs until it binds together. So I'm just going to use 3 or 4 tablespoons and then see how that looks. So this is coming together really nicely, but I'm just going to add 1 more tablespoon and then that should do it. You can also add breadcrumbs at this stage if you want, but I'll be using breadcrumbs on the outer layer of my kebabs. So I'm just going to put some oil on my board and also on my hands. And this will just make it easier to form my kebab patties. I'm just going to make a rough circular shape. And I'm just going to coat it in breadcrumbs. Wonderful. Make sure it's nicely coated. And make sure you've got that circular shape. And then I'm going to put it on my board and continue making the rest in the same way. So I've prepared my kebab patties. I'm very happy with them at this stage. Now you can either deep fry or shallow fry. I'm going to shallow fry mine. So I've got my pan of hot oil ready and I'm just going to carefully place each one inside. Lovely, then I'm just going to let that cook and then flip it over to the other side. So you can see that they're browning, so I'm going to flip them over and cook from the other side. So I'm just going to have a little peek. Looks like it's done. So I'm going to take it out on my kitchen paper and make sure that any excess oil is absorbed. So I'm just taking them out one by one. Wonderful. So there are my 4 kebabs ready. So now I can just transfer them to my serving platter. So there you have it, green veg kebab. I bet this is going to be the healthiest kebab that you ever eat. It goes really well with coriander chutney. Give this recipe a try and let me know what you think in the comments. If you like it, please share with your family and friends. Subscribe to my channel for more authentic Indian recipes. See you next time. Bye bye.